I recently had a conversation with a friend of mine. He's starting to think about schools for his little boy, Justin, and he wanted my advice on how to prepare for grammar school exams and whether I knew of scholarships he could start to apply for to make sure Justin went to a good school. I listened intently, paused for what felt like a really long time before I finally asked, what about the local state schools in your area? Have you looked into them as well? He looked sincerely shocked and replied, but the state school system is a mess, right? I mean, that's all I hear, that state schools are bad. I don't want to take that kind of risk with Justin. He's my son. He deserves better. I want to give him a great education. My friend was convinced that our state schools are broken, beyond repair, a risk for his son. He has no expectation that his local school provision would be able to give his child an outstanding education. And over the past few months, with everything happening, I've been struck by how many of these types of conversations I've been having. A number of people in our society look at the education system in the UK and believe that the only way their child can receive a quality education is by opting out of the state school system. It seems that when it comes to mass educational provision, many of us have lost hope. We doubt that widespread quality provision is even possible to achieve in the UK. I mean the kind of provision that would see your local school being one you would be excited and proud to send your child to. And so because of that, those of us who can simply opt out and move on. Whereas there are countless people who know that this bleak assessment of the UK state school system is not accurate. They know that many state schools are not only providing their students with the crucial academic keys to ensure they have real choices in regards to post-school progression, but also developing them into good, kind citizens, equipping them with the well-being, resilience, and mindset required to navigate the rest of their lives. People that know the difference that a diverse range of engaged parents can make to all the children in a given school. Yet many, like my friend, remain unaware of the incredible work that state schools are doing, often in challenging circumstances. My friend doesn't realize the vicious cycle that we are stuck in. Success across state schools can't scale without his engagement and support, and yet he won't engage until success has sufficiently scaled. And so the prevailing social narrative continues to be success is only achieved via private or selective schooling. But what about this question of hope? Hope that looks beyond the challenges of what is and presses towards what could be. Hope that aspires towards a nation where all our children have access to a quality education regardless of their family income. Do we really have that kind of hope? Or do we doubt our ability to change a status quo that segregates our nation's children based on privilege? There are millions of children served by our nation's state schools, and my sincere belief is that the quality of their experience does not have to be limited. As leaders, we are required to step up, to speak up, and show that it is within our nation's collective hands to actively support schools to deliver for all children. deliver the kind of quality outcomes we would desire, that we would demand for our own children. Tens of thousands of people inside and outside of schools are diligently working to support our state schools to have what they need to deliver excellent provision for their students. They are doing this because they have hope. They are uncompromising in their aspiration, steadfast in their belief that if we come together, the UK can enable local schools to be quality options for all communities, regardless of income. They hope because they believe that the great work taking place in schools right across our country can continue to spread. But as we all know, those people are tired, wearied, the weight of carrying that hope bearing down on just a few. And at times, it seems as if we are content for a few to carry the responsibility of a nation. While many of us opt out and move on, they continue to relentlessly pursue the scaling of progress. But it's not for a few to do. We all need to spread hope that sustained change across the UK's education system is possible. We need to help others understand that they are a critical part of enabling that to happen. In this day and age where so many sectors have shattered the strongholds of limitations placed on them, why should we expect any less when it comes to our ability to scale progress across our education system? Hope is powerful. Hope is infectious. So today, I ask us as leaders to reaffirm our unapologetic belief that the UK education system can scale the progress we are seeing in state schools right across the country. I'm asking us to commit to stating that belief more vocally in our communities. Our education system has very real, very complex challenges. Of course it does. And so spreading and sustaining change for our schools is not an easy endeavor. But it wouldn't require hope if it were easy. Social change comes because a community of people have the audacity to hope, stepping out in faith with an unrelenting expectation for social justice. I think it's striking that the Church of England's vision for education talks so much about hope. Education, beyond all other devices, is the great equalizer. And I believe the church has an important leadership role to play in raising our nation's aspiration as we strive towards an education system that provides quality provision, not just for our children, but equally for our neighbours' children as well. It's been said that educational inequality is the civil rights struggle of our time. We cannot be content with the notion that as long as my child is okay, then my job is done. History has proven that our destinies are intertwined, like the stems of ivy on an oak tree. A me and mine attitude is not what enables a generation of people to take a collective stand against inequality and achieve social justice. I do believe sustained change is possible, but I don't believe it will happen without a collective, engaged pursuit of that aspiration. Leaders empower those around them to understand what is needed and determine what their roles are to support those needs. So in closing, my questions for us today are these. As leaders, what can we do to more boldly challenge the rhetoric that only a privileged minority can access quality education? What can we do to spread the good news of progress that we know so many state schools are making, and the difference that having engaged parents and communities can make in the efforts to accelerate that progress. We have it in our hands to be the generation that breaks this pervasive thinking that lowers the ambition we have for all children and merely focuses on a few. Each and every person has a critical contribution to make. So my hope is that this year, our sense of community is renewed, emboldened, with a shared commitment to actively support the scaling of progress until we reach all our nation's children. Thank you.